Przed nami najdłużej wyczekiwany panel dotyczący sukcesów zagranicznych absolwentów uczelni polskich. Historii, które chcemy Państwu przedstawić, jest dość dużo i są one, zaręczam, fascynujące. I w związku z tym tę część podzieliliśmy na dwa osobne bloki. Jednak zarówno pierwszą część, jak i drugą poprowadzi dla nas Rene Helmans, tutaj obecny, dyrektor Biura Współpracy z Absolwentami, Akademia Leona Koźmińskiego, który ma bardzo bogate doświadczenie w realizacji misji umiędzynarodowienia. Jestem przekonana, że pięknie nas przez tę sesję poprowadzi. Ta część będzie prowadzona w języku angielskim. Zanim jednak przejdziemy do tego panelu, przed nami mała niespodzianka. Przed Państwem wystąpi postać inspirująca, motywująca i której energia, mam nadzieję, udzieli nam się na najbliższe popołudniowe godziny. Przed Państwem mistrz świata w przemówieniach publicznych, Cyril Junior Dim. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Professor, Rector, all professors, members of faculty, our honored guests, all protocol is observed. The best day of my life was Pi Day. Engineers call it Pi Day, the 14th day of March. It would be March the 14th, 2017. It's the birthday of Albert Einstein, my birthday. It's also the day I receive a rejection letter from MIT. Now, for a 19-year-old, it's a catastrophe. But in hindsight, it's the best day of my life. Nobody from my family has ever gone to university. My grandparents grew up in colonial Zimbabwe. They were lucky to be allowed into middle school. My parents grew up at a time when not many people saw the need to go to university. Zimbabwe was newly independent, the economy was good, the Zimbabwean dollar was more powerful than the British pound. I grew up in the Zimbabwe you know today. And before you ask, yes, there was a time I bought bread for $10 trillion. Applying into MIT is my attempt to break the generational curse. I want to be the first from my family to go to university. And so when MIT fails, I revert to plan B. I immediately start sending in applications to Canadian universities. Now, my grades are good, but these universities want $40,000. My parents are farmers. And apparently selling my brother's kidney is not an option. So I revert to plan C. I go to an agency. You know how there's agencies for everything, like a travel agency, an immigration agency? I go to one of those study abroad agencies. Now, the agent has a thick Nigerian accent. Now, I'll have you know that I am half Nigerian, so from the word go, I don't trust this guy. But he pulls off a miracle. He lands me a spot at the University of Vienna, a world-class institute. That's where Erwin Schrödinger went. Karl Popper. It's in Vienna, the city of music, where Beethoven and Mozart would have lived and worked. It's an opportunity. The best opportunity I've received in my life. And so for the next 6 months, I commit myself to learning the German language. Bitte, danke, nicht schießen. I even find some Germans who've moved to Zimbabwe and I befriend them to learn the language. Do you know how difficult it is to find Germans in Zimbabwe? Finding Germans in Zimbabwe is like finding African people in Poland. They're here. Right? In 6 months, the agent calls me to apologize. I won't be studying in Vienna because I didn't get the visa. And so, Professor, your words resonate with me so profoundly today. I know what it means to miss an opportunity because of a visa. I remember thinking, I just want to go to school. Should it really be this hard? Is it me? Is it the system? Is it a sign? A message, a text message from a long-lost friend. Why don't you try Poland? Poland. Marie Curie. Yeah. Marie Curie. What do they speak in Poland? Don't worry, you'll find out. I did. But listen, man, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? The single most important question I've ever had to answer. February the 7th, 2018, I land in Warsaw. Pi Day of that year, Stephen Hawking dies. No relation, I promise. I never thought I'd be here. And even after it happened, finally, for years, I didn't want to be here because I always felt I settled for Poland. That was my pride speaking. Put aside my pride and I realize that something or someone, if you believe in that kind of thing, understood that I would be useful in Poland. And that's been such a gift over the past 7 years. Watching myself grow into something useful through my education, a little passion, and a lot of pushing. In January of 2022, I became the first from my lineage to obtain a university degree. It may seem small because many of us here are graduates, but for me, it was a song of victory. And I remember thinking, the realization of how hard I'd had to work just to go to school, or perhaps, just perhaps, nothing is out of reach if I can only push hard enough. And friends, I have been fortunate, so fortunate. Pushing hard enough against some 40,000 people worldwide has allowed me to stand before you today as the youngest world champion of public speaking in history. It's crazy. Pushing hard enough has morphed my career from being a software engineer to being a project manager to being a key account manager supporting businesses across 3 continents. Pushing hard enough has allowed myself and my team to launch programs here in Europe and back home in Africa to reinforce principles of self-presentation to students here and there. And so when the professor in absentia speaks of teaching international students public speaking, he's speaking my language. And if I'm being really honest, pushing hard enough is what may have convinced a certain young lady to give me her hand in marriage. Now, friends, when Pani Ula invited me here, this really got me thinking thereafter. How much better off are we going to be for having this conference? What will be the best day in the life of a future international student? Well, I believe the answer is fairly simple. The best day in their life will be the day they qualify for and receive acceptance into one of our universities. It has been my material experience that it's more than just an acceptance letter, it's a gateway to the world. And we can all play a part into shaping this experience, from the educators who strive to give value to the students who strive to achieve excellence, to the legislators who strive to support the legality of our stay, to everybody in between, we can all play a part in shaping this journey. It's a question of how hard we're willing to push. So may this conference be a stepping stone onto the future. May it be a push, a hard push towards that which may seem unreachable now. And may every day we push be the best day in our lives. Thank you.
Cyril, thank you very much. And now, Rene, the floor is yours. We start the panel.
Thank you very much. Well, Cyril, you make the job quite hard, I would say. So, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of the academic community, distinguished guests, and of course, my wonderful panelists, which will be joining us on the stage in a couple of minutes, welcome. My name is Rene Helmans, and I'm the director of the Alumni Relations Office at Koźmińskiego University, and it is a huge privilege to be speaking today, making this entry speech, and also moderating the two coming panels. Firstly, I would like to do a huge thank you to AGH University and the Ministry of Science and Higher Education for making this platform possible. As Cyril already said during his speech, it is something that we desperately need and a push so that we understand it. I have a question already to the audience also to connect with you a little bit. Could you please raise your hand if you are working on a day-to-day basis with alumni or working in an office responsible for contact in the environment? Please raise your hands. Okay, quite a lot of you, I would say. And one thing I would like to make clear is that you should be proud of the work you are doing. To put it on the canvas, when talking about best practices with alumni relations, there's one country that always comes to mind: the United States of America, right? That is where all our eyes are set upon. So let me put it here. There is the USA, then there is a whole big hole of nothing. And then in Europe, we have a leader, if it goes for our alumni relations, and that is the United Kingdom. In the last 2 years, I have been joining a conference organized by EFMD, the Alumni Relations and Marketing Communication Conference. This is actually a good example, and if you hear about this conference or Google it after today's event, I really encourage you to join it. So during that conference, I was representing Koźmińskiego University's Alumni Relations Office. We are just 2 years old. Before we had career office and alumni relations office with one officer actually responsible for contacting, maintaining engagement, and every single topic that you might imagine with over 70,000 alumni. Actually, luckily, the government of the university decided that that should change, and now we have at least a 3-people office. But imagine my first conference, and I am saying, okay, we have 20, 30 people joining our alumni meetings. For me, or in the eyes of the government of the university, that wasn't too much. But when I realized that universities from Spain, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Germany, they are facing the same obstacles as we. So it is also very hard for them to motivate their alumni to come back to the university. So when I said 20, 30 people, they said, wow, that is a very good event. That was 2 years ago. And one thing that I want to underline is how important it is to implement alumni relation strategies and doing those initiatives also in a consecutive way. Because 2 years ago it was 20, 30 people per alumni meeting. Right now we are 70, 80 people standard, plus our record alumni meeting was 190 people in this year. But I will try to keep my introductory speech as short as possible so that we can focus on the stories of our alumni. I will begin also with a simple question. What is the most important aspect of higher education institutions? Some of you might say rankings, like for example our own national Perspektywy rankings, or in our case in business schools, the Financial Times rankings. Others might say that it is international accreditations that we are striving for. Even another answer, how the environment perceives us as institutions. Those all are very important aspects for every higher education institution. But there is one thing at its core. And I would like to give you the answer that resonates the best with me. A university, a higher education institution, is nothing without its alumni. Because all those rankings, all those accreditations, how the business world and potential employers perceive us is through the success stories of our alumni and how the alumni perceive us as well. So the theme of today's panel, International Alumni Success Stories, resonates deeply with me, since I am also a person of international origin. I was born in the Netherlands. I moved to Poland almost 20 years ago, and I'm also an alumni of Koźmińskiego University. And having that international origin as well, it amazes me that every day during my work, I have the privilege of meeting international people, diverse people, which are having the successes done by themselves. I wouldn't say that. A very important thing is that we as higher education institutions, we are not just a place of education. We are a place that shapes individuals. So when we are talking about alumni success stories, we need to understand the role of the universities as well in that. Today, during the first panel, a very important statement was said. When does the alumni relation begin? The answer said during the first panel was when they are students. I would say even before, when they are potential candidates for our university. Because right now, the way we think about candidates to our university is that they would like to become our students. And through, for example, alumni success stories, we can change that view. How about, I can't wait to be an alumni of that university. I can't wait to join that community and have all of the benefits that come with it. At Koźmińskiego University, and as I'm sure also is with AGH and other educational institutions represented today, we like to think of ourselves as a bridge between our students, alumni, and their potential professional careers. This bridge is built not only with rigorous academic programs, but also with an ecosystem that encourages networking, mentorship, and the exploration of diverse perspectives. Moreover, a key part is providing career support services, not only during the studies, but also be at the ready for our international alumni after their studies. One very important aspect is, the sooner we learn that the educational process doesn't end with the end of the studies, the better for us. Because at Koźmińskiego University, and I really highly encourage it as well, we believe in the vision of lifelong learning. We as educational institutions should be partners in the development of our students, alumni, for their whole life. Like I already mentioned, the role of the universities does not end at graduation. So alumni networks, career supports via partnerships extend the university's reach, creating opportunities for cooperation and mutual support across industries and borders. Remember one very particular thing. Our alumni are ambassadors of their alma mater. Their achievements amplify the university's reputation and inspire current and prospective students as well. Every day, we are learning new stories from our alumni community, whether it's launching startups, driving innovation in multinational corporations, or contributing to community development. The bonds forged during their time at the university, both with the institution and their friends alike, are usually the bedrock of their professional networks. Organizing, for example, an alumni club or meetings also helps to develop their networks even further. So if you are not doing so, I highly recommend it. Today's panelists are living proof of the enduring impact of the Polish university education. Their stories showcase the academic, cultural, and social experiences gained here have propelled them to succeed also here in Poland, but also the global stage. I encourage you all to listen closely to their journeys, not just for inspiration, but for insights into how we, as educators, can continue to support this trajectory of success. What challenges did they face? How did their education prepare them for those moments? And perhaps most importantly, how can we ensure that the next generation of alumni is even better equipped to meet the demands of an ever-changing world? As we navigate this panel and learn about the stories of our alumni, let us remember that their success is also a testament to the strength and quality of our institutions, the power of our shared vision, and the potential of Polish higher education to change lives. Thank you very much. So without further ado, I think it's time that we meet our panelists. So I would like to welcome to the stage Cyril Junior Dim, international alumni of the Wrocław University of Science and Technology. I think a little bit bigger applause is also necessary. Svitlana Sovinska, international alumni of the Krakow University of Technology. Kudzai Chigobu, international alumni of the Krakow University of Economics. Futo Murata, international alumni of the University of Agriculture in Krakow. And dear alumni, you can take your seats as well. Raja Dogra, international alumni of the Warsaw University of Technology. Valentina Kodas, international alumni of the Koźmińskiego University. Ashutosh Mukherjee, international alumni of the Akademia University of Krakow. Karim Otrok, international alumni of the Łódź University of Technology. And Buse Ismihan Ilhan, international alumni of the Łódź University of Technology. Huge applause. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think the first point of the panel is what I always like to ask for the panelists. Are you excited for this panel? Yes. Yes? Good, good. We are as well. So, firstly, we would like to meet you a little bit closer. So, I think first, Futo Murata. Could you tell us a little bit about your story?
Hello, everyone. My name is Futo Murata. I'm an alumni of University of Agriculture in Krakow. It is a pleasure to have this opportunity to have a presentation in this wonderful conference. So let me introduce about myself. I was born and raised in Tokyo, Japan. Up to my bachelor's degrees, although I studied abroad in Germany for 1 year. And then I came to Krakow to do my master's for 2 years. And I graduated in 2020 I started working I went back to Japan and I started working as a specialist of climate change at a private Japanese company called Pacific Consultants. And like, I'll give you the reasons I chose Poland for my master's degree. One was the studying course itself was very attractive. It was about environmental protection, so that's what I wanted to study. Also, like, they have a very generous scholarship with tuition fee exemption, so it was enough amount of funds to survive without working. The last reason was I mentioned I was in Germany for 1 year, and that time I visited Krakow on a trip, and I really liked the city. So when I was choosing my master's degrees, I got accepted by several universities in some different countries. But the last factor to decide the university was the city. I really like the city, so if I can live in Krakow for 2 years, it'd be great. So that's why I chose this university and in Krakow. And during my studies, the professors from University of Agriculture in Krakow, they are very great. They also have an international office and the support for the international students about everything, procedures to have visa, that kind of, that sort of stuff. They are very supportive. As you can see in the photo on the right side, there's some Polish people and also international people. The balance was very good. We can have I didn't feel a minority as a foreigner, but at the same time, my Polish classmates taught us about the local behaviors and the cultures and so on. Also, they have, sorry, that was a typo, but we have field trips or excursions. Not only the lectures, but we had experiments and field trips. So it was very interesting studying course. Apart from the studies, we had a very good time. Most of us lived in the same dormitory, and we hung out together. So it was a really nice time. So these are the pictures from the experiment class, or field trip. And now, I went back to Japan and I'm working for a Japanese company. But during the interviews and stuff, my Polish degree was very unique to the Japanese companies. They asked, why did you choose Poland? And can you tell me about Poland? And so they got interested, and I had many stories from my Poland time. So it was very, it affected very positively. And then because of, thanks to my Polish degree, I could begin my career in the climate change field and also in an international department. So that's now the environment at my work is very desirable. And as a specialist of climate change, I have conducted some climate change policies. I have developed some renewable energy projects. Also we provide some seminars or capacity building sessions, including other countries. So these are I have some international business trips. So the top left is when I went to Maldives. Bottom left, I went to Palau. Top right, I went to Chile last month. Bottom right is in Sri Lanka. So I really enjoy traveling abroad as well. And the picture in the center is my coworkers. So they are very international as well. So thanks to my studies and stuff, now I'm in this environment.
So thank you very much, Futo. And I have one question for you.
Well, sorry, this is my
not
last
yet.
slide.
Okay.
Yeah, my future plan.
False start. I understand.
From March next year, I'll start working at the United Nations. I'd like to keep contributing to like climate change, but eventually I want to come back to Poland to live and work because I got such like good opportunity to study here with a scholarship, but I haven't contributed like back to this country. So I'm not just being polite, but I really mean it. Like one day I want to come back to Poland, and yeah, I want to work here. So thank you very much. This is the end.
Huge applause. So, Futo, one question to you. So, if you would mention one favorite thing about Poland, what would it be?
Favorite thing about
Poland?
Poland. I would say still like the city of Krakow. The atmosphere is very warm and like welcoming. That was my impression. Like when I travel in other countries, they had some cold impressions, but in Krakow it felt like very warm and welcoming. So the city, this historical city, has a special atmosphere.
Okay, perfect. You can return to your seat. And now we would like to learn a little bit about the story of Raja Dogra.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Hope you had a nice lunch and are not sleepy, I hope. My name is Rajat. I'm an alumni of Warsaw University of Technology. I came here for my bachelor's back in 2018, and currently I'm working as a data architect at Amazon Web Services. So I'm going to keep this short. I'll get into more details during the panel discussion, but I'll do a quick walkthrough of my journey since I came to Poland and where I am now, right? So I came here in 2018 in the winter, so it was a bit harsh, but we made it. So I came here in 2018 as a bachelor's in electrical engineering student, and that was a 4-year program. So the first year I started to get to know the culture. So when I came to Poland, I didn't have a lot of idea. It was more of a, I picked this country and I'm here kind of thing. So I came here, found out more about the culture, met local people, made friends, started to build a community. And then slowly I started getting more involved in the university. So I joined the ESN group, the ones who would be part of that, you know, crazy parties, right? So good stuff. And then I also joined the badminton club. I started playing for my university. And then in my second year, I did Erasmus. And I think that really elevated my experience suddenly because you get to know, firstly, you get to meet people across Europe. And when you go to other countries, you meet Polish people who are there on Erasmus. And somehow that friendship is even stronger than the ones I met here. So that was a great experience. I did that. And then Warsaw University of Technology has a lot of international cooperation. So there are summer schools, research programs, bilateral exchanges, right? So got a lot of opportunities. I actually went to China for a research program for 1 month. I got selected into National University of Singapore, which is, if I'm not wrong, top 10 in the world. Couldn't make it because of COVID, but still, just the fact that I got a bilateral agreement, and that is, you don't need to pay anything to study there. You actually get money. And if you go to NUS yourself, it's like $50,000. So that was a big deal. Also to Japan, actually, at Hokkaido University, I got an offer. Again, COVID kind of spoiled my plans. So yeah, that's been my journey in the first, like the 4 years during the bachelor's. Now coming to the part where I become an alumni, so where I start working and getting money. So finished 3 years. I think end of third year, I already got a job offer from Procter & Gamble. And this was actually at one of the job fairs at the university. So that shows how good of a ecosystem you have. And the person who recruited me was an alumni of Politechniki, so that helps, of course. So yeah, in my last year, I started working already at Procter & Gamble. I became an IT manager soon. Then I graduated. I was able to do it quite well as well. And after that, I had a choice to make. So I finished my bachelor's. I had my degree. I got promoted at Procter & Gamble, so I was at a good position. But I had always thought of doing a master's right after my bachelor's. That's how I was going about it for the last 4 years. And at that point, I had to make a decision. So I had been applying for the whole year to a lot of universities. And it may sound a bit braggy, but I want to say it because Polish university helped me in this. I got into like Cambridge and Oxford and all the big schools, which was they were dream schools for me. So having the Polish degree really helped because at that time, it was only my Polish diploma I submitted. And based on that, I got the offers. But yeah, I made a decision to stay back. I thought I want to be in Poland for a bit longer because I'd been there for 4 years already. And also, I was not sure if I want to do a master's right away. Maybe I get some work experience. And at that time, actually, I got reached out by a recruiter from Amazon. And the message, I can't quote it because I don't remember, but I remember the message mentioned that we see you graduated from Warsaw University of Technology, and we are hiring graduates, so would you like to apply? And during my interview, I think there were 4 or 5 different people. 2 of them were from my university. Again, that helps big time. So did that. I switched to Amazon, been there for more than 2 years now. I'm working as a data architect now there. And just to finish off, the last thing, I was a student, alumni, I'm now back a student. So last month, I started my master's. It's an evening course at University of Warsaw. And yeah, now I'm back in the education ecosystem. And that's going great, actually. Again, looking forward to all the international opportunities I get. So yeah, that's about it for me. Again, thank you for having me here. It's a big privilege to be here speaking in front of you. So thank you for that. That's it.
Thank you very much. And one question. So you had 15 plus global top university offers and scholarships. And what was the decisive factor to stay in Poland?
I wouldn't sugarcoat and give the honest answer. My decision was that I want to start working, and I was very comfortable in Poland. Like, I tell it to my friends, Poland feels like home. Like, if I come to Poland, it's like I'm home. So my decision was, I want to stay in Poland for a bit longer. I want to work. And also the other reason was, even if there is a scholarship, you still pay a lot. So that was another. So the opportunity cost was big, right? If I lose my job, I don't earn, and then I still spend more. So that was the reason.
So it's quality of education for also a fairer price.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Rajat.
Thank you.
So the next introduction is from an alumni that we already know is a master public speaker. So Cyril, could you take the floor?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, although the more often I tell my story, the less I like it, the more I laugh at it. So I think there's a good, sweet middle ground there. You know the story of how I ended up in Poland from the speech you had to listen to. The truth is, when I came to Poland, it was to pursue a degree in computer science. And I've always loved tech because of my uncles. They were wizards, if you want to call them that, and they were a very positive influence in my life. In Zimbabwe, the pattern is that private education is better than public education, and I thought the pattern followed here in Poland. And so when I arrived in Poland, it was to a private university. I won't say the name, but it was within a stone's throw of a cemetery, which I just think is awesome. But the professors there were alumni of Politechnika Wrocławska, Go Polibuda. And they spoke very highly of the university. They said the workload was exactly what I was looking for. And they did the most amazing thing, all of them, and I mean all of my first semester professors wrote letters of recommendation, and they said, go to Politechnika, try your hand and see if they'll accept you. And I walked into the international admissions office, and there was this guy there. Guy looks like Superman, and I mean it, the glasses and everything. And I give him the letters, I plead my case. After a few more interviews, he gives me a spot. And that's how my story in the university came around. I quickly realized something when I was sitting in a class of computer science students. I felt really dumb next to them. Sort of like how I feel right now sitting next to 15 global offers when I got failed out of MIT. And I realized that I wouldn't have as much joy in the career if I always had this nagging thought of these guys are all better, they're all smarter. So I went back to the drawing board and I asked myself the question, what am I good at? What do I enjoy? And what's a need I see around me immediately? Once I can identify that, I can amalgamate it with my education and I can give value. Now, since childhood, I've always been in front of the public eye. My mother threw me in front of the camera at a very young age. I was something of a child actor. My mother herself was an actress, primetime TV. Two of my aunties are runway models, one in Miami and the other in Milan. So I realized, well, you put me in front of people and I don't have the impulse to run away. There might be something there. At Politechniki, they had some cooperation with an organization known as Toastmasters International. The tagline for that organization is "Where Leaders Are Made." And this organization is a perfect sandbox to learn leadership skills and public speaking skills, both of which I felt I needed. In 2022, the year I was graduating, I graduated in January, I had entered the largest public speaking contest in the world, that's hosted by Toastmasters. They've been hosting this contest since 1926. There are only 2 years in history when they didn't have this contest, and that was during the World War. I didn't have any high hopes. I walked in wide-eyed and all naive, but I had lots of help inside the university, inside the Toastmasters Club, and the alumni community around that as well. I had no expectation of it, but in August of the same year, I became the world champion of public speaking. Now, by then, I've already started a career in IT, and when my employers discover that this has happened, they immediately want to put me in front of clients. They immediately want me to be responsible of fostering the company's relationships with leads, clients, and so forth. And that's how I made the transition to be a project manager and so on. But there was still a need. I remember thinking back to my childhood and wondering how different my life would have been if I had access to a world champion. And I'm looking around at all these super qualified people around me who go into the job market and they get a bad deal and they're paid less than they're worth because they don't know how to present themselves. And I thought, how about if this became my thing? I know what the tech ecosystem looks like. I know what the problems there are. I know how the people there think. But I also know this other angle of if I can present myself convincingly, I can get what I want. And so I started giving corporate trainings, teaching the principles of public speaking and rhetoric. I started doing one-on-one coaching and mentoring with aspiring speakers, CEOs, a few out of the Middle East and a few out of other parts of Europe. But my greatest joy was receiving an invitation to be a lecturer in 2 of the universities in Wrocław. It felt a bit embarrassing to be introduced as Mr. Dim when everybody else is Dr. something. So I still have aspirations one day of being Dr. Dim. I like the sound of that. And this is the value I give right now. I teach professionals to present professionally. Thank you.
Okay. So one question, future Dr. Dim. So if you would do your doctorate, where would it be?
That is an interesting question. Not MIT. I will be honest, my wife and I are very fond of Kraków. It seems there's always a reason for us to be here. At the same time, I'm curious about Warsaw, although I struggle with Warsaw. It's reminiscent of London for me, big and busy. And I like cities that have got a bit of character, a bit of personality, a bit of attitude. So I am torn, but I am inclined towards staying here in Poland. Also because I've seen how they dress during the ceremony when you become a doctor, and I like that outfit. It's kind of like you see like these guys out here. I feel like in many ways, my heart academically is still here.
So firstly, next time you're in Warsaw, give me a call. I will show you the city. But I do agree that Warsaw is not the most beautiful city in Poland. The cities that come to mind is, for example, Krakow, Wrocław, and so on.
Thank you, Rene.
So, the next one, Svitlana Sovinska.
Thank you for introduction. For my side, it will be a very brief technical introduction, not for, like from Cyril. I'm graduate Krakow University of Technology, Department of Chemical Engineering and Technology. During my engineering studying in Czernice National University, we have cooperation with Krakow University of Technology, and this cooperation start for me as a master studies, like bilateral cooperation. And after my master study at Krakow University of Technology, I began my PhD studies. And I'm not also connected with Krakow University of Technology. I also connected with Jagiellonian University because I defined my thesis at Jagiellonian University. Also, another Polish university, I also mention AGH University because I finished project management here, and during my master degree and PhD studies, I had a lot of opportunity to participate in a research project like funded by Polish National Agency, or for example some program from National Center of Research and Development, and of course some exchange program financed by National Agency for Academic Exchange, and some program like Erasmus. Also thank for cooperation of Krakow University of Technology and with Jagiellonian University, and some bilateral cooperation with foreign university like Fachhochschule Münster. I also had opportunity to participate like to have practice in this university, and thanks for Ivanowska program, this was 6-month practice. And I think based on this experience with my scientific team at the university, we had a lot of publication, a lot of patent application, and of course some patents. Also, I participate in some competition like Student Inventor, also organized by Silesian University, and also have some distinction, and also recommend to do for other students and participate in these programs. From perspective, I was a winner, like intern student in PhD category 5 years ago. And summarize everything, I think the very deep knowledge given me by this university, and I think very good cooperation with people at the university, also based on all degrees in this Polish university. Now I can do my work in very good work, in a very quality way, and thank for that Polish university.
Thank you very much, Svitlana. One question.
Yeah.
When you started your degree, did you think it would end up this way?
I'm sorry?
When you started your degree at a Polish university, did you think it would end up this way?
I don't know, really.
Okay, so let's say it exceeded your expectations.
Yes, difficult to ask to your question, yeah.
Okay, so one more time, huge applause. So next up, we'll meet Kudzai Chigubu from the Krakow University of Economics.
Testing. All right, so it works. Thank you, Rene, for the introduction. And unfortunately, I don't have a presentation. I don't know why I'm standing here, but here I am. Right. So my name is Kudzai Chigubu, and I'm 26 years old, which means I'm now paying taxes, unfortunately. I come from Zimbabwe, just like my colleague Cyril over there. We share the same suffering. We know each other. All right. I currently am based in Krakow, and I work in Autodesk. And before that, I've been working in Shell and State Street over the 3.5-year course of my career. I am actually an alumni of the Krakow University of Economics, just behind the train station, and hence why I'm standing before you today, right? So when I'm not working or studying, I like engaging in active sports such as tennis, badminton, volleyball, and of recent squash, all right? And apart from that, I also possess a passion for fashion and also a passion for gardening and landscaping. Although recently, the latter has been difficult to cultivate given now there is like limited land space for recreational gardening in Poland, so in Krakow in general, it being the city. But also on my free times, I like watching documentaries, economic documentaries, crime documentaries, or just commentaries. And also, I'm one of the few active members of the Krakow University of Economics alumni organization, right? And in this organization, we meet on a monthly basis for general meetings or occasionally, depending on just to have some discussions and debates, think tanks, whatever, depending on the burning topics that are haunting like our lives in Krakow, either be it the real estate market or the recent prevalence of AI, etc., amongst other things. My journey in Poland started back in 2017 when I came to Poland. And I remember it so well because I came in fall, in autumn. And I remember it so well because the golden leaves outside my dormitory were falling, and this gave me the feeling as if I was actually at Harvard University, but I was in Łódź. And I was actually part of the Stefan Banach scholarship program. That's how I found out about Poland. And after that, I did a one-year course under the NAVA scholarship program at this language school for Polish preparation. And after that, I proceeded to go to the university in Krakow University of Economics in 2018, where I pursued my bachelor's degree in international economics for 3 years. And then shortly after, I began my master's studies at the same institution, but a bit on a part-time basis since I had already started my career in Shell. And during my tenure at the University of Economics, I partook in sports and various scientific clubs. I did partake in the tennis team or like join the volleyball team, but I never really qualified for the teams because I just couldn't keep up to their level of play. But my breakthrough did, however, come through when I joined the Konaukowe Wyzwań Zielonego Ładu. And for those who don't understand Polish, there's like a scientific club for the Green Deal challenges, right? And this gave me a platform to actually like maybe express myself through the debates that we took part in various projects. We went to the EU, European Parliament, we did like the parliament in Germany and to various other things, right? So, so you see, like my experience in the Polish language, so in the Polish universities, really built my character, and this is something that I'll be willing to share with you further as the day goes by. Right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I have a big applause? And I have one question after your introductory. Would you agree, based on your introductory speech, because you said that you were engaged in scientific clubs when you were a student, and now you are also engaged in an alumni organization? Yes, correct?
Correct.
So would you agree with the statement that an engaged student also later turns out to be an engaged alumni?
Yes and no, right?
Please elaborate.
Exactly. Because you can become an engaged student, but then when you're done with university, you don't want anything to do with the university. Maybe that's your own opinion. And sometimes you can actually not be an engaged university student, but when you're done, then you actually feel like, oh, I still have a bit of sentiments and I still want to be alumni and like make an impact with the backing of the university. So it always depends on the individual, right? But being an active student, I believe it's actually a vital part of the university life. Because there's a lot of, like more often than not, there are a lot of students who actually go to university, they just go for classes, go back home, do assignments, sleep, or go for classes, go back home, you go to work, and then go again, yeah? And they never really take time to engage in sporting activities or like discussions with colleagues or engage in like scientific research clubs, which can actually open a lot of doorways for them, right? So I believe that if you pursue co-curricular activities, this should be actually maybe kind of mandatory, in quotes, for every student to actually pursue at least one thing in their university life so that it build character, I can say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kuzai.
All right, thank you.
And now let's get to know Ms. Valentina Kodas from Koźmińskiej University.
I would also like to stand up here in front of you to see all of you, but also to see the panelists. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not sure how about you, but I am extremely inspired by all the stories I had a chance to hear so far. So I hope mine will also add the value to all of you. So it's an honor to be able to share my story as an international alumni here today with you. Though I would like to go from this second or maybe another angle that is not written on my LinkedIn, from the story or my journey with Polish University, with Koźmińskiego University. And my journey became with a strong drive to always learn more, to excel at everything I do and win. And I was lucky enough to realize quickly that this relentless pursuit to always do more, be engaged into more things has its limits. And I would like to tell you today the 4 lessons from my journey that have fundamentally changed my mindset, that are connected with the Polish university I had attended to. Lesson 1 is the skill to unlearn. During my first year in Koźmińskiego University, I realized quite quickly that the skills or knowledge I have obtained in my high school is either very outdated or no longer relevant, and I had to do something about it. And I was lucky enough to have mentors and peers who taught me of this skill to unlearn, which, having on the radar today, helps me to filter out or clear up the space for fresh and new ideas, both in my personal life and professionally. Lesson number 2, the importance of a not to-do list. This came on my radar during my bachelor studies, where I was incredibly active and engaging in extracurricular activities on the campus. This was very enriching and exciting. While on my master's degree, I took on a job. And at the same time, I understood I cannot do it all. This is where I started with the time management, with the prioritization, and you know what? I started writing the to-do list, which was always so long, I never kind of got to the end of it. So I came up with the list of rules of what goes on my to-do list, but the rest goes on my completely not to-do list. And this taught me focus. Or would rather say gave me the space to focus. Lesson number 3 from my studies. creative problem solving, or not taking no as an answer. During my bachelor's program, I had an opportunity to participate in a double-degree program in France and complete an internship in Germany, which on the paper sounds wonderful. However, I incurred so many hurdles on the way, starting from the visa complication to extensive bureaucratic procedures. It was so overwhelming. And what I had to go through to get the results I wanted was to think outside the box. If I want to get something, and I'm getting the answer that this does not work this way, I go around. I tried second time. I found a different creative solution that didn't work before, but apparently it works out. So never take no as an answer. And that led me to my final, maybe not final, but final lesson I would like to share with you here today is the embracing the unknown. And the final lesson became clear to me after I started my career at Warner Brothers. As I reflected on pivotal moments in my life, I noticed a recurring theme, an intentional change. Every defining moment, at least in my life, involved stepping into the unknown, whether it was moving to a new country, Poland, France, Germany, back to Poland, starting a new job, or taking a challenge with a no guaranteed outcome. And I've learned to embrace the uncertainty. While you can't predict the results of every decision, you can trust in your ability to learn and to grow through every decision and every experience that gets into your way. So this mindset that Poland and university in Poland helped me to grow of that success isn't just about the results. It's also about the readiness to take over the opportunity. That boundaries are as important as ambitions. That challenges are our opportunities to unleash the creativity, and that unknown is a chance to grow and develop. So these are the 4 lessons that followed me on my path during my journey in Poland, and I hope they bring you the value on your own path. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Valentina. I have one question for you as well. So, well, it is hard to ask you a question from my perspective because I think we've known each other for like 7-8 years. So my question would be something that would interest the panelists as well as the audience. So you mentioned you currently have a career in Warner Brothers. So where would you say would be the first time you had contact with Warner Brothers?
That was in the university. I was actually on my master's degree on the big data, and I never thought I would be working in finance. I currently do. And on our program, back then this was Discovery, now it's Warner Brothers Discovery. They came to the university with projects that they would like to involve or onboard students from my program. And they were all in finance. And I was not very interested, to be honest, because this was not what I was expecting that I wanted to do. And we got together for as long as I have my working career right now. And I'm still staying in finance. So in
Thank you very much, Valentina. Big applause. So next from the AGH University of Krakow, we have Ashutosh Mukherjee.
I'll use the podium as well. I don't want to break the streak right now. Good afternoon, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be back at my alma mater, and thank you for inviting me along with such amazing, distinguished panelists, global traveler, 15 global offers, world champion of public speaking. Quite a panel here. My name is Ashutosh Mukherjee. I'm a computer science graduate, and in fact, I'm the first computer science graduate in English from AGEHA. And right now I'm working at world's largest private bank, UBS, as a site reliability engineer. I always follow this guideline. Life begins outside of your comfort zone. At least that's what I told myself when I was 18 years old and I was coming to Poland to begin my journey. But the journey didn't start off very well because I was one of the lucky few to have their visa rejected. But of course, with my convincing charm, I did an appeal and they gave it to me. So I'm thankful to them. So once I came here, it was an interesting experience and a transformative experience, navigating through an entirely new culture, new social norms, and of course the language barrier. Not everybody speaks English, but sometimes you go somewhere in a small town, sightsee, and the babushkas don't speak English. But it's always nice to have integrate into the Polish society. I always believe a college is just a microcosm of society. I met so many amazing mentors, professors, and friends. And even my first internship was through the university. It was part of the course. We had to do an internship, but me and some of the non-Polish friends, we were not so lucky to get a summer internship, which only requires 120 hours. So we had to ask a professor for some help, which was under guidance. But we managed to figure it out, and here I am at a full-time role at a multinational company. And I'll keep it short because I feel like I should answer these questions during the panel. But as an alumni, I've always tried to support because as a pioneer in AGEHA, because there was no English course before, there was no seniors that I could ask questions to. I always try to support my juniors when they reach out to me. I'm on all of their groups. And recently there was AGEHA Open Day at my company, and I always try to attend these events. And not even just AGEHA, even UEC, when we have career fairs, I try to represent. I represent the company, but I go with my college spirit, so people can relate to me more. And yes, what my academic guideline is that a building is only as strong as its foundation. And you could build anything, a hospital, a duplex, a skyscraper, you could be a software engineer, you could be a researcher. But if you don't have a good foundation, then any well thought out design or ideas, they'll just fall through. So today I hope to give some insight into what a strong and solid foundation as a Polish graduate can provide. Thank you
very much, Ashutosh. And I agree 100% with you. You are speaking about the foundation, yes?
Yes.
And what would that in particular be? Is it the quality of education? Is it the community of the university? What is your opinion?
No, it's a full experience. I can only speak for myself as a technical graduate. So, of course, I learned a lot of technical knowledge at university, which I can, of course, apply at my job. But it's about the full experience. You work, you learn in a multicultural environment, and when you go to a multinational company, you can integrate much more easily into a multicultural and diverse environment. And it's always, I can give you an example that there are certain seniors at the office who graduated from AGEHA maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and it's always a good conversation starter. How is the uni doing now? Who is the rector? Who is the dean? How are they doing? Are they still there? Are they still alive? Things like that.
So the relation with the university is strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next up we have Karim Otrok from the Łódź University of Technology.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to take a mental picture right now. Enjoy this for a second. It's an honor to stand today and share my story with you. I haven't shared my story with many people, and it's a bit controversial for some. And the controversy starts when I mention where I am from. So I am a Palestinian from Lebanon. Usually I say to people, I'm from Lebanon, and people just assume I'm Lebanese. Now, growing up as a stateless Palestinian means that I have to face lots of challenges, obstacles, simply for the nationality that I got, something that I did not choose. I'm a Palestinian. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of it. It forged me, it made me stronger, it made me fight harder for my rights for that. So, for example, one of the challenges that many could take it for granted is travel. Travel for me is an uphill battle. I always had to go through lots of paperwork, bureaucracy, there's lots of restrictions. Till this day, I am not allowed in some countries, which is fine. I also as well have been told that simply because I'm a Palestinian, I wouldn't accumulate to anything. And imagine telling that to a child who's like 7, 8 years old, like, what the hell? Come on. I'm a Palestinian and I can do the same thing that other people can do. I want to travel, I want to see the world. I know there's so many different cultures, so many good people, and I want to meet all of them. That's when I decided to travel. Now, that wouldn't be sustainable if you want to travel without having a source of income. So I had to combine that with studies to focus on a more stable and secure future. So this is when I decided to study abroad. Now, I had lots of countries in my list. I've applied to UK, Italy, Greece, and honestly, Poland wasn't on my radar. But I had friends and family who mentioned about Poland, and to be honest, they only had good things to say about Poland. I did my research about Poland, and I was fascinated by the Polish history. It resonated a lot to me. There was a struggle in Polish history. There was like lots of partitions, displaced families, and so on, which is something I can connect with. The only difference is that Poland earned its sovereignty. They are free people, they are very resilient, and I'm wondering, what did they do? I want to know what did they do? I want to learn that. So I was like, okay, let me apply for universities in Poland. Now, I got accepted to many universities, but there was one university that was an easy decision for me, because you need to remember that one thing about me, that I love traveling. And again, it's very difficult for me to travel. Now, the university that I picked is Lodz University of Technology, and they promised me that you will have an amazing international experience. And yes, they did keep their promise. I met amazing people from that university, lots of international people. I've done an Erasmus in the UK, a summer school in the Netherlands. I did have my international experience. And of course, when I came to Poland, it wasn't like an easy journey. Of course, there were like some obstacles. I mean, come on, I had COVID. I was again restricted from traveling again, one more time. Like, come on, what should I do now? So I was like, okay, let me do like a master's in operations management. I'm gonna work hard because I wanna broaden my horizon. So on my bachelor's, I studied mechanical engineering, and now I have a master's in operations management. COVID is over. I got my master's degree, and I was trying to find a job. Now, as a foreigner who doesn't speak Polish, it may be difficult to find a job. I was frustrated, to be honest. Like, come on. I read these promises by the university that come to Poland, you'll have a great time. And indeed, I did have a great time. But I don't want to go back empty-handed. I wanted to prove myself that I could able to support myself and to be able to support myself. So I went to the university and told them like, hey, I really need a job. Please help me out. I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and master's in operations management. And they did. Within weeks, I got a job offer from Philips. And it was an internship, actually. And honestly, it was the happiest happiest news I've ever got. I have an internship at Philips, a very well-known international company. Step by step, I took the ladder, I climbed the ladder, became a specialist, senior specialist, and now I'm a global order management subject matter expert in the supply chain department for personal health. And I'm so happy with that role because, again, I love traveling, and with that specific role, it gives me an opportunity to go on different business trips across the world. So I've been a few in Europe, and I also have opportunities to visit India and China. This did not limit me. Now, why am I saying all of this? Despite the challenges that I have got, there are two lessons that I have had to learn the hard way. That opportunities will never come to you. It may sound depressing, but yeah, that's the truth. Opportunities will never come to you. You have to create it. You really need to create it, otherwise you will just be stuck with your conditions and stay sad, depressed most of the time. So create your own opportunities. That's the first one. The second one, ask for help. There's no shame in asking for help. There are great, amazing people that are willing to help you. Lodz University of Technology helped me out. Lots of great Polish people helped me out. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm happy to contribute back as a productive member to the Polish society, even though I'm not a Polish citizen for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Karim. One question for you as well. So you mentioned you had a very rich international experience at the Łódź University of Technology. And my question is, how does that rich international experience impact your career right now?
Well, having a rich international experience makes you be open-minded. I grew up in a very conservative family, so that could mean a lot of things. But when you have to travel, see the different aspects of the world, you need to be more open-minded. You need to be understanding. There are different cultures. What's happening, for example, in India is completely different than what's happening in Brazil, for example. So you need to understand these differences and be open-minded to that. And with that, you can connect the dots, bring cultures together, bridge them, so that we can work together and provide efficient solutions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, we have Busa Zmichan from the Łódź University of Technology.
Okay, I want to take one microphone just to keep myself safe, because I can be considered a bit short compared to the Polish people, and I think this is definitely for Polish people done. So please yeah, that's very beautiful of you, but I need maybe something more. Please let me know if my voice is like hearable right now. Yeah, no? Okay. So, okay, so I will just keep it with this. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So maybe this speech will be the combination of the many thanks. But as I just declared in my thesis first, I need to say that first I want to start to thank to myself for the dedication and for this journey, because it is very valuable when you see yourself and emphasize yourselves, and then it is the time that you can also be able to add value to others. But also first, after that, I need to thank to maybe the whoever organized this speech, this panel, because it is hard to, that it is hard to go through as an international people on something, but it is pretty easy when you see that you are not the only one, but there are many people went through the similar process and they made it better than you, worse than you, but there is no comparison, because if you made it, this is your journey, right? So thank to organization of the AGH University for give us a chance to speak in front of you. That's kind of a pretty privilege for us. And thank to everyone, whoever are listening, you really broadened my horizon, and that was really nice to hear from you. So I am from Istanbul, the most beautiful city of the world. I see everyone agrees, yes. And thank you. Yeah, if you haven't been yet, you will agree soon in your life. I hope you will see it.
I was there, I confirm.
Now it's done, yeah. We had it. So it is a city where the East meet West. Yeah, it is the city that we have all different nationalities, all different religions, all different people from the background. We live together. And it is a city we ask each other, where are you from? As you ask here us, yeah, where are you from? I'm from from Turkey, but in Turkey, in Istanbul, we ask each other, where are you from? Because we all, 99% of the Istanbul, which is 20 million people lives in Istanbul, comes from different part of Turkey, and we become one and unique. I want to start my story with where I am from because this is exactly who I am. I feel like I'm like Istanbul and I'm known by my city in this world because I love to be different but together. So I have one unique soul, that's true, as everyone had, but we can meet in the same ground at one point, but we don't have to lose our authentic self, yeah. So I'm from Istanbul, and Istanbul, before I come here in 2022, I was working as an international planning and operations specialist as one of the biggest apparel company of the Turkey, and I was managing the 7 countries, the menswear. That might be seems nice, it was, but it was not for me. I don't say it's a word for someone else because I took 3 months and 6 exams to be able to join the team. It was not as easy at all, but sometimes this is a word is for someone else, but not for me. That's okay, because I always feel that I need to do something technical, because even during the job, I was just an analytic person who tried to automate every process that I went through. That's good, but I don't belong there. So I needed something else. I'm solo traveling from 18 years old, which is not very acceptable for like 12 years ago, that as a woman just had a backpack, go out between all the exam sessions and come back. So as soon as I travel, I didn't figure out what I want, but it was good because I figured out what I don't want. I don't want to see anyone who doesn't accept each other. I don't want to be in the life that who just don't prefer to be with, doesn't prefer to be that someone else who doesn't see the diversity as a richness. So that's my, I knew that one day I will just move out because I've been over the 30 countries and that was not a surprise. But I didn't know I will end up in Poland. I can just say that moving to Poland is just a transformative turn in my life. Because when I come here, as I mentioned my background to you, I am an economics graduated and I was working in operations specialist. When I come here, I was like, if I take a shot, let me take it the big one. So I redefined my career path. What I did, I only applied one degree, human-computer interaction. It is the degree only in Poland, only which technical university has it around the Poland. I had no idea what's going on in the Łódź because I come from the Istanbul. And I know Warsaw, I know Krakow, and that's it. But fine, I had other options too. I would go to the London, where I didn't have £20,000, so it was not an option. But then, luckily, I ended up in Poland because it's helped me to redefine my career because I see that there are many obstacles here, but there is 2 rules in my career life. If there is an obstacle, there is an opportunity. If there is an opportunity, there is an award, but not only awards for me, as the previous one. I took 3 months, 6 exams to join my previous role. It was an award at the end, but not for me. Okay, I am not taking that one, and this doesn't make me a failure, yeah? So then I came here, I was not thinking that I will be acceptable, but I had only 1 shot, and I just applied human-computer interaction. I just get into the job. I just get into the program. Then later, okay, it is time to find a job. It's not easy, as Karim mentioned. If you are international people, doesn't speak Polish, it's not easy to get into the job. So, but I was lucky enough that our university has many job fairs and let us to meet the, let's say, the European market. So it was a good one. Before I come here, this story will end up in a sweet way. But first I need to say that it starts with the bitter way. So it's a bittersweet story because when we all come here, in our pocket we have hope, we are intelligent, yes, we are young. But the most we have, I think you all agree, we have a lot of concerns. The concerns if I fit the culture. The concerns if I will find a job. The concerns, I go ujon. I don't speak Polish. What about my work permit? What about my residence permit? Yeah, I think you all agree with me. Yeah, but the thing is that the Poland a bit turned into the good story that it has some opportunities that maybe other people doesn't see, or even I didn't recognize till I come here. And if it is pretty, it's the place that in the radar of most of the international company has an back office. So that was the good. They just remove many questions regarding to the what if I find a job. Most probably I will find because they need someone here, and it's the work permit. Okay, if you graduate, just a graduate to multi-master degree, you have lifelong work permit. But how about during the study? Am I able to do the work? Because I know other countries let you maximum work 20 hours. Maybe it cannot cover your cost of living, yeah? But here we have full-time work permits. So when these all combine each other, I can say that, yeah, that was a transformative journey for me, and I'm happy to take this shot regarding to the university choice. So this concerned part, we have it, we will always have it, but now when I compare myself with the 2.5 years ago as Buse, I had many things with the diploma that I received here. Another opportunity that the diploma gave me to a chance to speak with the many people here that I met, and I'm impressed by the stories. So thanks again to my diploma this time. And as I mentioned, this speech maybe consists of many thanks, so this is the one of them. What can I mention? Yes, we can mention that the academic excellence, we can mention that there is an affordable education. Don't forget to mention, I mentioned that 20,000 pound, which I don't want to convert into the zloty way. I don't want to think about this. And we have the global opportunities, which I work right now in a global company. I will tell the sweet story at the end because I just want you to feel the timeline and how I went through with the concerns on my pocket all the time. So the sweet part comes really, really later on. And yeah, the cultural experience is great. The personal and professional growth is great. And I can feel that at least the university of which has technology university of which has a supportive environment for the international students, that's also great. But how I will end up in a good job, because to go home back is okay, because as I mentioned, Istanbul is the most beautiful city in this world. If it's my choice, if it's not my choice to back home, if it's the decision that I couldn't find and my hand is empty, it is not okay. That's why it's another concern, yeah? So what would I do? I want to do another shot. I got accepted as a senior international planning and operations specialist in Amazon and 2 different company, which is not well known, but Amazon is well known. I think everyone has an idea that. Then I had another choice. If I came here, let me do one more thing. I want to go into the IT. If I can't, that's okay, because I didn't have technical background. I made it into HCI, which all of my peers they were great. They were very intelligent. Everyone has an engineering degree, except me. It's not a problem, okay? Because what was our mission? Turn the obstacles into the opportunity. I did it. Instead of seeing my no technical background as a weakness, I just got my social skills and soft skills as a strength. So that was actually the story how I ended up in IT, because in one job fair, I see that there's some job post, and I learned that I can't join this because I have full-time master degree and they need someone to work from 9 to 5. But then there is a lady mentioned that there is a technology student program, but it's not able me to apply right now there. And I just asked one thing, can you give me the mail of the manager? I got the mail manager, I provided my portfolio, I sent an email. Then immediately I got a response. I am out of office. I will be back in 3 weeks. Okay? It is what it is. So let's do something else. Then I started to apply the jobs, but thank God, till she back to me, I just had some interview. I didn't end up any job offer. So it's good news because I really want to get into this job. As soon as I got the first one and only interview, then I was in. Yeah, that's also a good story that I was in. I started in IT as a business analyst, but not enough because I am very analytic and data-oriented person. But yeah, let me do my best there. Then I will complete my master degree. And what I did that I like the approach of that you can build any technical skills in 3 months as a beginner level. But building a soft skills take lifelong, I guess. So then I just focus on the soft skills, which also having the international in the Poland university helped me to build the resilience, the adaptivity, the collaboration in international environment. then I got my second job, and I end up now in where I am very, very happy as a data analyst in cybersecurity and identity access management, as one who has no technical background, but now I'm creating, visualizing, and coding and everything, and providing a good approach in an international company, which I'm just representing part of the Poland, which I'm even not a Polish. So this is just the story of myself. If you consider this a success story, it's very nice of you, but it's just a story of myself, and I just happy that to share with you. And yeah, I think that's all what I want to say in general. If you have any question, it would be nice to elaborate more.
Thank you very much. Big applause. We are a little bit over time, but we did start a little bit later, so if it is okay with the organizers that we take 10 more minutes. Okay, with one question for the panel. So thank you very much, Busse.
Thank you.
Huge applause once more. Okay, so we heard a lot of interesting stories, but I have one specific question for you. What was the most important thing the university did, in your opinion and in your own words, to support that story and the success you made? Do we have any three takers, if it goes for the first answers? Single line answers are also fine.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I feel university really taught me is you learn how to learn. You don't actually learn and apply something at work. You actually learn how to learn, and then you apply that knowledge at work. So learn how to learn is something I would say.
Karim?
I wanted to add that the university made us feel like equals to Polish students. Even though that we're international students, it didn't mean anything. Our foreign status didn't mean anything. When we are in the university, we are Polish students, regardless of the nationality. And that helped us remove any discrimination, made us feel having equal rights. Whatever the Polish student had rights, we also had the rights as well, which made us feel very comfortable and safe in this environment.
Thank you. I see Busse also.
Actually, I just want that we graduated from the same university with the Karim, and I just want to confirm this. I can say that the first people we met is the student office, yeah? So their approach is just define your how it's going. I can just say that the university, Politechniki has great student affairs staff for international people. I think their very constructive approach was the best thing that we continue and just come over all obstacles.
Thank you very much. And if it goes for your career journey, would you say it started during your studies, or would you say it started after finishing the studies? Maybe I will ask Cyril right now.
Thank you, Rene. That's a very important question. I would say my career started during my studies, because my career ran almost tangential to my studies. I was in class, I was attending lectures and all that, but I'd already started trudging down this path that would lead me where I am today. In that regard, what was the gift from the university? It was two things: access and connections. Access in that I was fledgling at the very beginning, didn't have much, didn't know what I didn't know. So if it meant having the university support me to book out a room, or have the librarian dig into the archives for a book I'm going to need, there was always access. The university was behind my back. Interesting story, when I went for the World Championship, I was wearing a dress shirt, so it comes with cufflinks. I didn't know anything about cufflinks. You want to know who I wrote to first to ask for cufflinks? It was the head of the International Admissions Office to say, do you have anything, I don't care if it's Politechniki, do you have anything I can wear? This is how close we were. And so definitely during my studies.
Well, to be fair, I've had stranger questions.
You want to tell me about these later on, Rene?
Later on, during the networking session. So, the same question to Svitlana.
I think my career started during my studies, master studies and PhD studies, because I participate in a few research projects, and I think it's a really very good background, not only for scientific journey, but also after graduate jobs like working here. And it was a really very solid, not for journey, but also for my work here. Very good knowledge, and I think one of the best values was problem solving skills from technical point. Yes.
Test. Thank you very much. So, first things first, and I want every single one of you to answer. Do you work in Poland or abroad? So let's start from Svitlana and go all over the way.
Yes, after my journey in Poland, I started 11 years ago from master after PhD studies. I'm also working in Poland. I'm working in corporate office in industry and also in Poland.
Okay, next please.
I currently work in Poland, here in Krakow, but I still have aspirations to actually build a business that's going to connect and allow me to collaborate create a bridge between Poland and Zimbabwe. And currently working in credit risk analysis, I've also noticed that here in Poland, a lot of people take credit in when they're buying houses, etc. But then in Zimbabwe, we actually have this notion, it's a cultural thing that a lot of people don't believe in credit. So I hope one day to at least build a business that will allow me to be able to teach people about the value of credit, especially with right now the increases in the land value that's happening in Zimbabwe, right? So hopefully I can also get investors from Poland, take that to Zimbabwe, and also get value which you also return back to Poland. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, so I am working in Japan, but from next March, the location hasn't been fixed, but I'm joining UNDP, United Nations Development Program, and it's going to be most probably in Georgia, or maybe Tajikistan or Albania, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I currently work at Warsaw, Poland.
Okay, so likewise of me, I work in Warsaw, Poland, and actually, I'm working with international enterprises, but also Polish companies, but based out of Poland.
I own a company here in Poland. The majority of my professional network is here in Poland. However, my biggest contract is with a Latvian company.
Okay, thank you.
I work and live in Krakow, Poland. I make the most out of my Karta Krakowska.
So I came 8 years ago to Łódź. I'm still in Łódź. I have a grave in Łódź assigned for me. I work. So I live and work as well in Łódź at Philips.
Okay.
So mine's a bit different. I stay in Łódź because I did my master and I apply my Karta there, Karta Pobytu. So that's why I'm based in Łódź. But my work from the beginning based in Tricity. Because I work for a Nordic company and their IT back office is in the Tricity. So I'm coming back to Tricity to Łódź.
Okay, thank you very much to our panelists. Big applause. And I, of course, encourage all of you to talk with our panelists also during the coffee break and the networking sessions.